Hey guys, it's me Jocelyn. So today I'm going to be doing the highly requested intro ideas on alight motion. Now these are just ideas of what to do for an intro for your edit if you don't really have any. These could work for Video Star, After Effects, it doesn't matter, but you guys requested it specifically on alight motion, so that's just what I'm going to do. And yeah, let's just get started. First things first, you're going to want to have your picture or your video just like this. Yours obviously doesn't need to be as long as mine, but this one is going to be basically a moving sideways blurred background with stars, and then on top of the video is like a shadow. You'll see what I mean. So first things first, you're going to want to go ahead and go on to effects, add effect. You do not want to have your thing duplicated, right? Well, actually, never mind. Tap your video and duplicate it, just like this, but then you want to go ahead and touch this little eyeball right here and tap it so you don't see the first layer. Now go into your bottom layer, add effect, go to move and transform. Now select offset. And you're going to want to make sure you're on the X right here. You're going to want to add 2 keyframes, one at the beginning and one at the end for the end of your clip. And then you can go ahead and move it any way you want. You can move it as much as you want, as little as you want. It depends on how much you want it to move in the background. You don't even have to add on a graph if you don't want to, because it's just going to be moving like this, so it doesn't really matter. Now you're going to want to go ahead and go on back onto your bottom clip where your offset is, and then go on to blur. I added on inner blur. You could add on any type of blur you want, but inner blur is just like the most basic, and it's free too, so yeah. And I just went ahead and added that on as well. You could adjust the blur settings. You can make it super blurry. You can make it a little bit blurry. It's honestly whatever you prefer. Just going to reset it to the default. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into procedural right here, and I'm going to add on simple star field. Now I'm going to go to this little scale thing right here. I'm going to tap it. I'm going to add 1 keyframe at the beginning and 1 at the end. You can zoom it in as much as you'd like. This just depends on how many stars you want, like moving all at once. You don't have to add on a graph for this either. This does make your intro and your alight motion a little bit laggy, so just beware of that. Now go ahead onto your first clip and unclick the untap the eyeball, and you want to zoom it out just a little bit, just like this. So now you don't want to add any blur or anything to your top clip. You can leave it just like this. And I'm going to go into border and shadow. I like adding on a shadow to mine. You don't have to add one if you don't want to, but this is pretty much it, and you could end the intro with a zoom out. So yeah. This next intro right here is kind of similar to the last one, but also very different. So first things first, you're going to want to go ahead and duplicate your clip once again. And once again, tap the eyeball so you don't see the first layer. So on your bottom layer, what you're going to want to do is actually go ahead and add on tiles. And you're not going to want to have them mirrored, so do not select mirror. And then you can just zoom out your photo. You can zoom it out as much as you'd like. I prefer it looking like this, so it's not too zoomed out, but you can also like, you know, you can still see it. Anyways, so now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and go back to the blur category and add on inner blur just like I'm doing. You can adjust it any way you want. You can make the strength less, you can make it more. It's just whatever you want. Now you can go ahead and go to move and transform, and you're going to add 2 keyframes, 1 at the beginning and 1 at the end, and you can slide it as much as you'd like. I don't know if I'm going to slide mine a ton because it does that. So I just slide it like this, so it's just moving slightly. Now, you can add on the simple star field that we added last time, but I didn't add that on this time just because I didn't think it was necessary. Now, I'm going to go ahead and untap the eyeball for my next clip, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom it out again, just like this, just like we did last time. And then you can go ahead and add on a shadow to it, and this is what it will end up looking like. I need to readjust my clip right here. It's a little bit short, but it's going to end up looking like this. Or even, you could add on what is it? You don't have to do these keyframes. You could add on offset just like we did last time, and you could slide it that way, but you're gonna need to do some stuff with that, and I don't have time for that right now. So yeah, this is pretty much this second intro. It's gonna end up looking like this. This next intro is one of my personal favorites because it's so simple yet so unique at the same time. So what you want to do is, like usual, duplicate your clip and turn the eyeball off for the first layer. Now go into your second layer, and what you want to do is you want to go to move and transform. You're going to want to go to the spin panel, and you're going to want to turn your clip completely upside down like I'm doing to around -180. You can add on clips if there's still a little bit of the black background showing, but I don't think there is for me, and even if there was, I think I'm just going to zoom it in a little bit. Now what you want to do is you want to go onto effects, and then you want to go onto color and light. You want to go ahead and select saturation and vibrance. Then you're going to want to go to the saturation and turn it all the way down. And then you can adjust the vibrance any way you want. I'm just going to do all the way down saturation, but fully up vibrance. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the search bar and I'm going to type in noise right here. This one does cost money, so if you don't want to use this one, you don't have to, but this is just like a personal thing. I don't know. I turn my strength up a lot so you can see the colors that are within the noise. And you can add on anything else to this. You can add on a blur to this if you want to, but I'm not going to. So now I'm going to go ahead and tap the eyeball on my first clip again, and I'm just going to zoom out like I usually do. And I'm going to add on a shadow to it. So as you can see, this is what the intro looks like. I love like how classy this looks, but it also looks like kind of vintage at the same time because of the noise effect. I love this intro. And it looks so much better if you add a shadow onto your first clip. The only downside is it does cost money for the noise effect, but I'm pretty sure there's something else we can find to duplicate it in alight motion anyways. So yeah, you could even add on a noise overlay if you wanted to get this effect. Now this last intro is definitely unique in its own way. So what you want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and duplicate your layers as usual. Turn off the eyeball for the first layer. Now go ahead and go on to effects, add effect. Then you want to go to the search bar and type in kaleidoscope, just like this. Now you can adjust the kaleidoscope any way you want. You could give it tons of reflections. You could zoom it in if you wanted to. The good part about kaleidoscope is that it's going to match with whatever background you wanted to do. So that's why I like it personally. So like if you decided to go with a different type of theme, it's going to match your coloring theme on your video, which is why I like it so much. So you can go ahead and adjust it like I did. I like the way I adjusted it. It almost kind of looks like those, I don't know what they're called. They're like tapestry that people put up in their rooms. It looks just like that. So I think that's why I like it. But I also went ahead on and I added color and light. I went to color and light and I added exposure and gamma. This is just my personal preference. You don't need to add any of this if you don't feel like it. So now go ahead and go onto your first layer, untap the eyeball and zoom it out like we've done for all the other intros. Just like this. And add on your shadow. Now you could keep it like this definitely, but I also like to blur the kaleidoscope effect just a little bit. Just so it's kind of like, oh wow, this matches, this is really good. You could also zoom in your bottom clip where the kaleidoscope is to get more of a color effect if you want, or more of like a reflected effect, honestly. I love this effect. It's like very underused, so I think that's why I like it so much, because it's nothing that's really been done before, and this is definitely a unique intro. So yeah, that was it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and comment down below any tutorial requests that you guys may have. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye!